automatically. I'll hit it. I think I was like.
No, it doesn't automatically do all the work when you hit go live.
It's technology. It should do that.
Buttons to press. What's
should
up?
Be buttons. Hi.
I'm just drinking this.
Oh, that was a loud one. Okay, I don't know the last time I've had a hard kombucha.
Does it say Jared Leto anywhere on it?
I've had hard kombucha before. I indeed have. It doesn't say it is not Jared Leto's hard kombucha, which is one of the best lines in that goddamn movie. But I'm trying the glass onion hard kombucha that was sent to us. Why is it not getting better with? Come on, you stupid camera. All right, well, it's just not going to go focus on that one.
Do you know what my favorite question that I asked at any of the Ryan Johnson Q&As I got to moderate was? I think I asked it to him and Janelle Monáe. I think it was that one. I said, would you rather drink way too many of Jared Leto's hard kombucha or have the tiniest dribble of Jeremy Renner's hot sauce go up your nose? Guess what they chose?
I mean, I'd probably drink the kombucha.
Yeah, they want to drink.
Yeah, I'm going to drink the kombucha. I'm not putting hot sauce up my nose or anywhere it shouldn't go. This isn't good.
No.
No.
Oh no.
So I just don't particularly like hard kombucha. So like I don't like kombucha to begin with. I should preface that. So like I came into this.
I like kombucha, but I've never had hard kombucha.
Would you like to try this?
No, because I'm very specific with my kombucha flavor. I only right now drink a watermelon flavor and a mango flavor, and that's it.
Nobody in this house likes kombucha, which is why I told him to put it in the trash, and he was like, "No."
Well, I want to try it. Why would I not try it? We got free
kombucha. I don't like kombucha.
But we got free kombucha. Why am I not?
You can have the tiniest sip of it. The tiniest sip.
Strawberry, lemon. Strawberry, lemon, and mint.
We're having a moment now. Right. Before we even begin, I have a lot of long overdue Patreon shout outs, and this batch is going to JG, MK Songbird, Andrew. I hope Andrew's even here for his big moment.
Andrew, ew.
Stop that. We also have Marquis and Avery. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I appreciate you.
It's my Friday drink, so I don't want to waste it on something.
I understand.
Like, first drink on Friday.
I understand.
You want to try this, Heather?
No, I don't like kombucha.
Matt.
Still try things.
Matt, come here.
What?
I have a serious question for you that's happening live right now because this was the mighty kind person who wanted to talk to us.
Yes.
You were supposed to initiate.
Oh, I will forward. I will forward.
Okay. Vincent, I have not forgotten. Matt forgot. I'm blaming Matt.
That's fine.
Hey, Perri and Matt, can't wait for Avatar 2. I think that is an accurate statement because I have seen Avatar 2 and I quite liked Avatar 2. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Well, I feel like I've spent a long period of time wondering, like not even just who's going to have any interest in Avatar 2 after all this time, but also because my initial reaction to Avatar in 2009, which before last week had been the one and only time I had seen that movie. And like, I was wowed by certain elements of it, but I was not the kind of person who felt the need to go back and see it over and over and like couldn't stop thinking about it. I mean, I never watched it again until last week. And admittedly, that's 13 years is a long time. I'm a completely different cinema consumer at this point. Like, I probably should have been giving the original movie more credit. But what I saw in The Way of Water was just like, holy fucking shit. How do we do this with movies now? How do you create that? I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Yeah, I do have to go back and rewatch it if I have time. Actually, I don't know. I think
you should.
My screening's like literally Monday, so I don't know when I'm gonna have time.
You should rewatch. I highly recommend rewatching it before you see the Way of Water.
Okay. Because, I mean, that was me too. I saw it once. I didn't see it again. But, like, I understand the hype for it. Like, I was never this movie's for no one. Like, I do believe it took way too long to get a sequel to it in a way. And I thought it might play into maybe some hype. But no, I am fully on, like, again, don't bet against Cameron. Like, what he's doing, he's always going to have that turnout. It's just always going to work. So
I think I am officially, by the way, you're getting some credit.
there you go.
Like I threw you under the bus, and Vincent's being mighty
Totally
kind
fine.
right now. I do think that certain things, like I guess I could talk about this because it's something that that James Cameron said in my interview. One of my
no spoilers in an interview.
No, what my first question for him was because it's taken so long, I asked him over that span of time, like, what was the low point in the wanting to make Avatar 2? You know, the time most of all that made you think maybe we won't really get this done after all.
That's
and
fair.
he didn't name something early on, like a bump in the road in development or pre-production. He mentioned the pandemic. So,
which is fair. Which is fair.
like thinking about that in particular, perhaps there were unforeseen circumstances that could have, reasonably allowed the movie to come out sooner. But when I think about what I just witnessed, if any time had been taken away and had they put this movie out any sooner and it didn't look as good as it does now, I don't think I wanted that movie any sooner, because what they have accomplished is truly blowing my mind.
So I mean, like that's always the thing for me. Like I knew Avatar 2 was always going to be technically profound. Like that wasn't a question in my mind. I knew it was going to once again up the game, because like what Avatar did for technology at the time, it's almost been like a decade or whatever. So like I knew the camera's going to bring more boundary pushing, like technical elements. It's just how that story comes together again for me. So like that's what I'm waiting to see. Like I know I'm going to be dazzled by what I see, and I'm not even asking like for your, because like I saw your first initial reactions and stuff.
I'm like not allowed to go further.
No.
I'm not allowed to go further than that. The one thing I will comment though that isn't going into like a full blown review, because the way that I had structured the tweet was I at first emphasized how incredible the visuals are, and then I went into what I thought about the story, and people were like, well, now I'm worried because you had to talk about the visuals before you talked about the story. Like it almost didn't matter how good that story was. If you look at the visuals in that movie, that's like next level stuff that no single production out there has ever achieved. And I don't think any production, if not Avatar, would have achieved that for years to come. So it's very difficult, if not impossible, to prioritize like the script over what they've achieved technically in that movie.
The only thing I'll ask you is I saw a few tweets. I think it was Bibiani. I forget who tweeted it first, but it was like, basically, Way of Water has changed how movies are going to be made going forward because of how good it looks. But he's like, at the same time, like it doesn't always keep up with how smooth it is, and it looks like motion smoothing is on. So like that's the only thing I'm curious.
I've heard that a little bit, and I wonder if it was the location that we saw it at. I like with any movie, depending on where you see it, you're either going to see it with sound and some sort of visual system in place that's going to be able to make the absolute most and, really reflect what the filmmakers intended. But then there's probably going to be some other cases where certain things don't look as good. In the theater I saw it in, I can't imagine anything looking any better than it did.
It was curiosity. It was just like, I
Yeah,
can't imagine. Like,
I saw some of that too.
Yeah, so like I understand the next frontier for how movies are gonna look is like that Ang Lee movie. I'm blanking on the title of it, but like the
Life of Pi.
No. What do you do after that? Like
Gemini Man.
No, the football movie.
Am I just naming every bad movie?
No, the football movie.
I know what movie you're talking about too.
Yeah, it's something long.
Billy.
Something of that nature. I'm blanking on the name 100%. It's the football movie with the military and stuff
I can't believe I can't remember the name of that movie.
But that looked, in a way...
Someone's going to tell us.
Yeah, someone's going to get it right for us. Billy Flynn. Billy Flynn. There we go. But like that movie looked so good for the time period because that was pushing boundaries. But at the same time, like it looked too real because the realism was so crystal and like the shots were so clear that you could clearly see like the concrete blocks were foam and like all these things that like kind of it removed some of the magic. So like I'm just curious about that.
Felt like I was enveloped in Pandora. I couldn't tell the difference between Na'vi and human characters.
Okay.
I'm like still like I better be able to figure out how to put this into words before I do a proper review because my God,
you will be able to do that.
My God,
methinks you'll get that done.
Okay,
let's get
next
some. We have a few.
Vanya, how's James Cameron like? I adore him. So I was shaking in my boots walking into that room. That was the room that I was above and beyond the most nervous to talk to that individual who is above and beyond one of the best filmmakers we've ever seen. He just like revolutionizes this craft every time he makes a damn movie. He was so warm and kind when I walked into that room that I immediately felt at ease. And I don't know, I'm like usually pretty hard on the quality of my interviews after. Like there's one, I'll full out admit this. There's one point in my Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana interview that I published today. And at one point, like I thought I had a really thoughtful question, but at one point I said the word meditate and Sam asked me mediate. Like he misheard me. And like, I was just so into the question. I'm like, yeah. And it completely changed the meaning of the question. And now I'm like mad that I didn't correct it properly. Anyway, the point being, the one interview that I'm like, I feel really fucking great about how that turned out was the James Cameron one. Yeah. And I'll give myself some credit that I prepared for it. I came up with some good questions, but I also really do give him a lot of credit for just being like a kind, warm person who like immediately made me feel like I had a place across from him the second I sat down in that chair.
You can come up with the best questions, but if the person on the other side answering them is not giving you any time of day or like doesn't have the right mindset,
I also don't want that to come across like I'm blaming Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana for me fucking up that question because they were also lovely.
No, I believe that.
I was just like especially at ease and shocked by being so at ease in James Cameron's interview room.
The man's gracing you with his presence. I think that's okay. Thoughts on RRR getting some awards attention? They got Best Director from NYFCC and now National Board of Review, top 10. So I think it gets more. It's just been getting more and more hype the entire time. Mm-hmm. And when I did like my nominations critic choice ballot today, I used like some of the like Amelia used Variety. I was using our Awards Watch and just like to have everything next to us with the categories to look at it. And I've been looking at those like the last few weeks, and RRR keeps getting higher and higher every time I check the list. And like now it's in the top 5 for like I think it was like costume and makeup, like production, like all these things. So I think this is gaining steam to me the same way that Coda did. I'm not saying RRR's winning Best Picture. I think it's going to perform better than we thought it would months ago.
I think there's a real possibility of that. They seem, at least to me, from like my limited perspective, to be like mounting a pretty strong campaign right now where they're constantly in my inbox. There are a lot of opportunities, which I think I'm going to take them up on one coming up soon because I actually finally pushed play on my digital screener last night. And because like my times are all fucked up because of being in London and having been in New York before, I just I didn't want to get sleepy and I wanted to push pause. I watched about an hour of it and then I had to stop and restart today. But
that's a smart thing.
I do want to prioritize seeing it on the big screen because that first hour is
my God. Well, and it just
mighty
keeps,
impressive.
And if you think that first hour is impressive,
and it's
just gonna
that's what I keep hearing. It's like I think it's that great, and they're just gonna keep raising the bar higher and higher.
I think we are getting into the point now where like when it first came out, I'm like maybe long shot, we'll see. Now it's like oh no, legitimate contender again, not gonna win Best Picture, but. Does it even get nominated? I don't know at this point. It is gaining steam with like a crazy amount of hype. I don't think it does either.
I'll put a stop on the Best Picture conversation.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't think that's happening.
I also think there's a lot of middling stuff I'm seeing though that shouldn't be there. So I don't know.
Wiley, hey guys, having a rough time, but just wanted to support. I appreciate you being here. I hope everything is okay. If not okay, I hope it improves very, very quickly for you. But you always have Merri Hour in this channel and our lovely social media where hopefully you can get a nice escape to turn to. We're always here for it, right, Wiley?
Cheers. And this one.
Mike Joyce. I just hope James Gunn gets rid of Ezra Miller. Ezra's got to go.
Be great. Be wonderful.
I mean, we might as well roll into that stuff now, too.
Sure. We can start with that. It's our title topic.
I think one thing that makes a lot of that even more disappointing, and I shouldn't say it's all disappointing because like on the one hand, I want James Gunn to be able to roll into that new position and, be able to I guess be able to start with a clean slate if that's what he can build the best franchise out of. I do very much understand that. But when all of the headlines coming out of the main reports are things like Wonder Woman 3 canceled, this not happening, but we're getting Flashpoint or the Flash movie. It's the Flashpoint, right?
Yeah. And it was
pushed up
a week,
Like, Really?
Do they still
on.
okay? So with what they're doing, do they still need to do Flashpoint to tell the story and be able to do the fracture that it was going to do? Like that's the only thing where like you don't scrap it, you don't do all the thing.
Flashpoint is DC's reset button,
right?
So they absolutely still have to
do
Flashpoint.
For those who didn't hear, Flashpoint, DC's reset button. So that is where.
Do they really though? Does that continuity really matter? I don't. Well, think.
But being the reset is.
Comic book fans every day.
I guess not. But if the ultimate is saying like DCEU, DCU, whatever we wound up calling it, DCU. Is ultimately like we are going to say it's coming to a close, and we're going to give these two new leaders the opportunity to rebrand and start fresh. Then I think usually I'm very much, like I like logic and rules and Bibles. I like to have clear pathways from one thing to the next that makes sense. But my brain is very willing to make that hard line and just start fresh at this point.
Because you're a logical human being, except everything that James Gunn posts has 500 comments immediately.
The illogical
Snyder
fans.
Bros going, why aren't you finishing his story?
Well, I think that's the thing. I think that's
not even an option, Flashpoint or not.
So that's where we're at. Like the thing is, I do think he's going to hit the hard stop on anything that is Snyder-y at this point, and that's not a slight against Mr. Snyder, but it's what you just said. It's
that was
Gunn and Safran coming in.
That was in the
Hollywood
Reporter piece.
So like we know that already. Again, we know that Wonder Woman 3 has been. I don't know if they used canceled. They just said like that iteration is dead. But from what I had read, it seems like they still want to do something with. Patty Jenkins was offered to do a rewrite, did not want to do it. So like they don't want to like just kill Wonder Woman off like that. Like they still want to do a Wonder Woman 3. I think
one article I read, it might have been from the Raps piece, even said that Gal is still attached to the role. So it's not like that plan has gone out the window, but. Like I have a hard time talking about this because how many things have we talked about in terms of theorizing about the future of the DC franchise that just like don't make sense anymore?
Well, and they just keep smashing the reset button too. Like that's the thing. But I think we're at the point where we have a concrete reset and not just another like let's roll the dice on it. I think they went all in again on the partnership there. Gunn is coming out blazing and like answering everything correctly, saying like. We still don't even know the real details. Like Gunn was like, some of that information is right. Some of that information is kind of right. Some of that information is blatantly wrong. And I'm telling you that up front. So like, we still don't even know what's true and what's not. It's just a bunch of hearsay. But I mean, like the stuff that Gunn confirmed, we know that we're getting more Peacemaker. We know he has teased himself, I think at some point that like Idris is coming back to play that character. And like his Suicide Squad is very much alive. So like, he knows where he kind of wants to start from and then build around with that. And if we know Gunn, he likes playing with the outcasts. He likes playing with all those kind of characters. And like, yes, we're still going to get the mainstays. We're still going to get the tentpoles. But I don't know. Like his focus is going to be more. I think it might be a little broader than some people want.
Like the more, you know, like quirky offbeat characters, which is very much in his wheelhouse.
But again, like we're not getting the other ones. Like he's not going to just never do Batman or like never do Superman again. But like. We're going to get Gunn's way, or at least, Gunn overseeing it. Not yet, no.
Doesn't seem like we're getting any of those characters in the near future.
Yes, that is true.
I guess beyond what they've done with the Flash movie.
Right.
Which we seem to be getting no matter what.
Yes.
And like, I feel bad even speaking about the Flash movie like that to that extent, because there's obviously one pretty big problem with that movie. But like, as I've said many a times with a film, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people who pour their deepest passion, their time and energy into their craft to make a movie happen. So the thought of just taking a movie off the slate because of someone's actions just doesn't feel right to me either.
If it is a reset, then they have a very good chance. Like, if they wanted to write out Ezra Miller's Flash and write somebody else in, they have a really good chance to do it. So like, I think there are a lot of options they can work with here. Getting Flashpoint out of the way, again, is what Amelia said, is a reset button. It doesn't have to be like it's not that it's continuing a story. It's kind of saying like, boom, we're gonna like jumble things up and kind of like take a new direction. And that's perfect for Gunn and everyone who's like overseeing right now to let a bunch of new directors to like push where it's going forward. So like, don't think of it as like, we need to do Flashpoint to keep things going. They need to do Flashpoint so they can be like, nuke it all, fuck this. Like that's what they can do.
I guess.
that's what they can do with it. I'm not saying I don't know if that's what they're gonna do with it. I don't know if that's what happens, but like that's what they can do with it. And if somebody can do it, it's Gunn. Like Gunn can easily go nuclear and take his own way.
No,
like,
yeah,
I trust him to do that.
I have a lot of faith in James Gunn as long as he's given like the best possible foundations to start building a franchise, and it's not a situation where he's allowed to do this much on his own, but he's forced to incorporate this whether he wants it or not. That part's a bit confusing to me.
I was just
read James Gunn's statement.
Yeah, just to get that statement.
Right,
again,
your computer really does not like when you do multiple things.
Like, do you hear it? It's like a spaceship.
Do you want me to open that on my phone?
If you want to, that'd be great. So the stream doesn't close randomly. I'm just gonna get a new laptop.
Yeah, look, like we got now we're really smooth, or at least from our angle.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot also
tweeted about.
Yeah, well, there's speculation. Did she know what was going on?
That's also true. We don't know if she actually knew what was going on there.
Matt.
Yeah, now I'm just looking at some comments for
I love that weird language.
The Flash, then brand new timeline. Again, like that's what I think they can do and should do. You do Flashpoint and then just go in a completely different direction because you have the reset opportunity there.
Where Momoa is Lobo.
Oh, the Momoa at all. Like, is Momoa done with Aquaman? Like,
I will say, I'll be very sad. Like, I'm pretty sure this is cemented in, but I still really want that Trench movie.
Oh my God, the Trench movie, that's dead.
It's
so
dead,
off topic and dead, but it's dead.
I just want it.
There you go.
So here is the statement that James Gunn wrote. I believe he posted all this on Twitter, or was it like an official statement? Doesn't say here. Anyway, he wrote, so as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true, some of it is not true, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios knowing we were both coming into a fractious environment, both in the story as being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what has not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and in the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer.
So, yeah, all those things we don't even know. Like, I like the part about like we haven't decided if some of that's true yet. Like, he's reading articles going, that's a good idea.
I believe him that that's the stage that they're at.
Yeah, it's so early.
Just, I think what like bums me out is that reports like this are going to keep surfacing.
I know.
Covering things that they hear from sources that are half baked and not fully fleshed out, where, as much as I love talking about this, in a situation like this, I really do wish that there was some way to like completely wall themselves off from those kinds of reports. And like, I'll happily wait a year until they're ready to, whether it's at Comic-Con or something else, present like a fully formed presentation of what we can expect. And I know even those change, but like the thought of having these types of conversations for months and months, which is inevitable. It's going to happen.
I mean, it's the whole thing of like, we can all band together and just collectively ignore sites like we got this covered in Cosmic News going forward. Like, that would be a nice thing to do. And we can only like focus on the real articles that come out. But unfortunately, that's not what gets attention because we got this covered where Cosmic News makes some shit up. And then all of a sudden that goes viral. Well, and James Gunn has to be like, that's not true.
There's certain reports out there that should be completely dismissed, but even reputable, reputable outlets. And, I'm not saying that necessarily, their sources or their ways of reporting are flat out wrong. But like the truth of the matter is, or at least it seems the truth of the matter is, they haven't fully fleshed out this plan. So even if these outlets are hearing about something that, a source does have some insight into, it's not necessarily a firm thing to stand on that we should be talking about with any authority right now.
And any site's going to jump on that because
I know,
listen,
and I
they
get
all
it.
want those hits.
But it's part of the game,
Yeah.
and I get it. I don't necessarily fault them for reporting on what they had, as long as their sources are what the sources need to be in order to report something like that. It's just like I don't like that middle ground that we have to exist in for such a lengthy period of time, where we keep talking about something that's still being molded.
My final takeaways are just the fact that like I hope he just, again, it's in the article, we know it's happening, but like Gunn just kind of putting an end to the Snyder run. Like we've had that run. It's time for Gunn to take over, do his own thing. Sorry, not Gunn. I shouldn't say Gunn, because again, there's a lot of other people it's Gunn overseeing, but other filmmakers are going to come in. So like again, we're all talking about Gunn because he's helping do the roadmap. But I am equally invested and curious what filmmakers he picks for this and that and that. Like I feel like that's going to be so important too than just saying like James Gunn is in charge. Like James Gunn and Safran are in charge, so it's two people in charge doing different jobs, overseeing, and then every filmmaker is going to have their job of taking a singular movie and making it fit into everything. So there's so many more things we have to talk about and think about than just James Gunn drawing a blueprint of where we're going. But again, Snyder, done with that. Flashpoint, be a hard reset button, and just kind of move forward from there. That's what I need.
Yeah. I mean, part of the thing that still really excites me about the future of the DC film franchise, with Gunn as one of its leaders, is like when you bring up waiting to see who he brings in to helm certain projects, because like he already has a track record for helping like really talented individuals bring their ideas and their dreams to life on screen, and doing so in a really like positive, effective, and like ultimately in the end in a way that like makes viewers happy, a great manner. So I want to see that happen.
Yeah, I with Gunn's tries, he is one of the few trauma to blockbuster DCU filmmakers out there. So like I'm very curious to see who he pulls in, who he gives a shot to. I feel like he's going to have a lot more leeway with the filmmakers he brings in, and maybe it won't be as like, I think Marvel has a type they want and they want to keep going on. I think they've gotten way better at that over the years. I think they're bringing in more and more like diverse filmmakers at this point, from any way you want to look at that word, diverse. But like, I think James Gunn is going to have a lot of fun picking and choosing who gets to do what when the movies start getting announced.
I'm curious. I just want like
James Gunn.
I want legitimate reports.
Yep, exactly.
That's what I want. But we'll be here covering all of the little itty bitty things that trickle out of rooms where they're still trying to shape their franchise.
We're never going to stop talking about the DCU and MCU.
I know.
It's just never going to happen.
But it's part of the movie news game. So it goes. It just happens to be an especially messy phase.
Yeah, that is true.
What else are we talking about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? There were some things.
Fucking Megan. That's what I want to talk about.
That trailer is so dope.
Is bonkers. What is that trailer? I love that trailer.
That trailer is the full hitting home point that this was directed by the guy who directed Housebound, Gerard Johnstone.
Oh my god!
And like everyone's talking,
everyone's
talking about this as somebody or as a James Wan production, but everyone should be really excited that this is like, he hasn't done a movie since Housebound, so this is the follow up to a very funny horror comedy called Housebound for this director, and we are seeing everything that he does so well with the dark humor, like just like gory comedy, like, and again, Megan running after the kid and going all feral and stuff like that. Like, these are things that we should be excited about, and these are coming from Johnstone. He's such a good director.
Megan dance. Like, is Megan supposed to be the TikTok generation? Because that makes so much sense that would be programmed into like a companion like that.
She's an AI TikTok robot, basically.
She makes me so uncomfortable.
It's so good though. So like, no, I'm all in on Megan, and we're already seeing positive reactions. And of course, like, it was the premiere, so we take it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, we're getting the right reactions that I want to see.
Yeah. I have a lot of faith. I've had a lot of faith for a while because I also really like Housebound.
Yeah, exactly. That was a selling point for me. I'm like, you got the right filmmaker to take the right tone with this, because again, other filmmakers wouldn't have as much fun with the concept, and we are looking at something that is like a off-brand, Chucky in a way, and like it needs to be funny, it needs to be a little bit cheeky there. So like
off-brand Chucky.
Well, yeah, it's like, we're doing the killer doll thing, so like you're not doing Chucky, but you're going away and doing your own thing with it. So Johnstone is really the right person for this.
Her murder dance is absolute fucking gold. You are right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's right. And so the writer of *Malignant* and the director of *Housebound*, just everything we needed there.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see this movie. Super chat.
Oh, did we have one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
It was Ian.
Fucking Ian talking about fucking fantasy.
Yeah, he's fucking talking about fantasy football. Wait, what did Ian write?
Boom. The bye.
I'm ready to have that bye. That are you ready? Or is Sam ready? It's definitely not going to be me. I can tell you that.
Sure, shit ain't me.
Are we? No, we're playing in the other league. We play in this league. See?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'll set my lineup, but I ain't got much left.
Fine, because if
I'll still beat you.
No, you won't. No, you won't. I have Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen.
Okay.
I'm gonna see Keenan Allen play live.
You are? You're gonna see Keenan?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You're not gonna beat me though. You're just not gonna beat me.
That's what you think.
I'm predicting Pacheco.
Yeah.
I'm saying his name right.
Yep, Pacheco.
I don't think he's going to do very well. I don't think Conklin's going to do very well. I think Pierce is going to have a rough week.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Joey B, so I think he'll be fine.
Sure.
But I think I'm going to beat you. And then in the league that I thought I was going to be out in, I'm actually going to sneak in and get the 6th spot in the playoffs, which would be a fucking miracle because literally every tool projected me to be out from the second we started.
I should have won last week against Eric, and I didn't sub Brandon Cooks. So I lost by 3 points, and I would have beat him if I subbed my.
That's the worst kind of loss. I'm sorry.
I did it to myself. Can't.
Oh, I'm playing Ian this week.
That's fair.
This is tight. This is tight. Who do you think is? Make a prediction, Matt. Who's gonna win?
Ian.
Who's gonna? Why are you just saying that to rile me up?
Not at all.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm looking at both of your teams.
Give me concrete evidence. Give me an example.
Ingram's been overplaying as the tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been doing much better than his projection.
That's my player.
Oh, that's you?
You literally just gave me credit.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's
you're
my team.
My bad. You're gonna beat Ian. My bad. I looked at the names wrong.
Conversation can end.
Right,
Super chat response can end.
Super chat's done.
Thank you, Ian.
Okay. What else do we have? What other trailers did we watch? I'm scrolling up. Hold on.
The Gen V one I watched.
Oh, yep.
It was okay. It was very much like a first look teaser.
Yeah,
so there was nothing really to go off.
No, exactly. Huge fan of the boys here. Love the boys. And the Gen V thing is very fun for me because we're getting to do an offshoot with the up and coming superheroes and the younger superheroes who don't know their powers yet. The trailer again, it's a teaser. It doesn't give you much, but we're already getting the weirdness that the boys has gotten to with last season. Like last season, we had Black Noir with his little cartoon pals, and it starts doing more obscure things, I guess we'll say. So like the Gen V trailer immediately has the puppet that keeps showing up. So like we have like a puppet in the mix somehow, whether that's someone vision or something that they're seeing. The gore's there. We're seeing A-Train. We're seeing familiar faces. But again, I don't know. I like that we're building out the mythology now and seeing other parts of how Compound V impacts people, and especially getting the idea that like there are children who need to learn how to harness their Compound V, and they're like, we all remember ourselves in high school and college, hormonal and all those things. So like a bunch of superpower kids with raging hormones and all those things. No, that's going to be fun.
I'm very much like that first look was fine. I'm very much looking forward to the trailer that feels more like a teaser, like an intro into the institution and like kind of like opening the doors and welcoming you into how it works. Like that's the promo that I want.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think we'll get there. Again, this is a very early thing, so like it's just them showing what they're doing. But it feels very much in line with the boys, which is a good thing to see. They're obviously they're staying within these franchise walls, let's say, and like what works for the boys is going to work for Gen V. But like, yeah, I saw what I needed to kind of get a little excited, and I think that's a world they can keep building out. I mean, that's Amazon's like. They have a few tentpoles right now, and the boys being that, like they need to hit it hard, and it feels like this is a good way to branch out and do the thing that is very different. And we'll see if we see the boys at all.
I'll agree. I have a lot of faith. In the series.
Because in the comics, there's a lot of really good stuff with the young teams. And like the young teams are the ones right out of college and stuff like that. So like they're just figuring out how to not be pieces of shit and be superheroes, and like the way that the boys have to get involved.
Do you have a favorite character you can tease?
I don't think they're using. So like One of my favorites is named Blarney Cock, but I don't think they're using him. So I don't. He was kind of teased in the actual last third season as a variation of character. So like we don't see him, but at the same time they use his arc with a different person.
With who?
I forget. I'd have to go back and actually rewatch it. But so like they're doing a lot more original stuff here. So that's the cool stuff with Gen V. This is going to be way more of their.
It's also sounding vaguely familiar to me. I feel like you might have mentioned.
I did. I definitely mentioned
one of our conversations.
There's a lot of stuff they can mine here, but it doesn't look like they're really going to play with the idea that the boys are going to have to do a lot with this crew. Like this is going to be more, again, just teens finding themselves as superheroes and all the nastiness that comes along with it that we see in the boys already. So I'm in on it.
I'm into it.
Yes, exactly. So Jamie the hamster is part of this. So that is part of Blarney Cock. I don't want to. It's you don't need to hear.
Like, what is this? What is this you speak of now?
Jamie the hamster is the hamster that Blarney Cock keeps in his butthole. That's part of his character trait.
I'm just trying to get a reaction from the other side of the room.
It's Blarney Cock.
The boys became a good show in season 3, so
Amelia was not on board with the boys until season 3.
Season 2 finale.
That is fair.
The boys was rough.
That is fair.
Okay.
But I'm excited for the boys meet Sky High. That sounds
exactly.
I'm excited for
The
literally
Boys Meet Sky
anything
High.
meet Sky High.
Yeah.
I would be especially excited for a Sky High sequel.
And you know what? It's Tara Butters who's showrunning it, and she did Agent Carter, so I could not be more fucking hyped.
Agent Carter showrunner. Sky High references. That's all you need. Infinity Pool.
Yeah, we have somebody that's even bringing it up in the chat right now.
Yeah. I mean, your thoughts? Go for it.
I don't know what the fuck to make of this.
It's a
Brandon Cronenberg trailer.
I was gonna say it's a baby Cronenberg movie.
Literally anything that I can, deduce from this trailer, I guarantee you the movie will wind up being like, making me feel like a moron for thinking that, because it's going to go in all these different directions that blow my mind in so many gory, disturbing ways. I'm all for it. That trailer looks great.
Can I say something controversial, possibly?
How dare you?
I think Brandon has officially taken over as the more interesting filmmaker between him and his father.
Did you not like Crimes of the Future?
No, I did not like Crimes of the Future.
I didn't love Crimes of the Future, but the last thing in the world I would call it is not interesting.
Shit. Sorry, we will get back to your super chat. I apologize. Thank you for reminding
me. You
us.
are manning the
you're right.
keyboard tonight.
I thought I was on top of it. Anyway, but yes, I didn't love Crimes, so me kind of being middle of the road on that. And I just Possessor being what it was. My God, I'm officially into the fact that Brandon's taken over. And also I like the idea of cloning we're playing with there. I like the idea of creating a different self for.
I like the idea of the cloning, but then what the fuck is happening after?
I don't know.
I think
we'll never know until we see the
movie.
I'm
gonna feel like an idiot when I see this, and even this is proven wrong. But I feel like the cloning idea is very clearly conveyed in the trailer, and then all of a sudden it's well, that happens when you get cloned, and then what is the and then? What is going on?
That's the whole point of it. It's actually funny because I just watched Duel, Riley Stearns' Duel.
Did you like it?
No, I was 50-50 on it. So here's the thing. I
wanted the whole movie to be the opening sequence.
So here's my problem with it. I understand that the robotic nature was intentional because that's what we're trying to show here. That the same person, but it didn't work for me. It's supposed to be a feature, but for me it was a bug. So that was the only reason I couldn't get into it.
It was supposed to be a what?
It was supposed to be a feature of the movie, but to me it was a bug. A bug in it. So that I had a trouble with, but I saw Infinity Pool trailer and it reminded me immediately of watching Duel, and it was just again, more hyped on
specific style and tone. And I feel like if you're ready for that, it makes sense. The whole movie felt like a Riley Stearns movie to me, and I thought it worked well enough. I wasn't loving it, but I think part of the problem with that movie is that opening set piece is so good and so interesting that it's hard to not want the rest of the movie to be that.
Yes, exactly. So that was, I agree. That was part of it. But anyway, so Infinity Pool looks like, again, a more insane version of that, because you create a clone of yourself for a nefarious reason. And then all of a sudden you start using that clone for other,
But
we don't know.
But doesn't the clone,
I assume,
die? That's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer.
We don't know. Honestly, we don't know.
Is that not what they sit down for and look for, and then a sword is shoved through? Or something?
It could be. Or it could be the trailer cutting around that. I don't trust anything in the fucking Brandon Cronenberg trailer. So what I saw there is.
Meanwhile, I'm like sitting here basically saying that, but also like I figured.
But you're
it
like,
out.
no, I figured the movie out. I know exactly what's happening.
About?
I am hyped on it.
I'm very
visually,
excited.
it looks
I
everything that I
can't wait
want
for
to be.
Sundance. I'm freaking out.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to go back to Park City and freeze my ass off.
have fun.
I
was gonna say that's your
I'm gonna
fest.
be like a big gigantic baby who's freezing to death, but also so incredibly happy. I will have no circulation in my hands and feet for an entire week, and I can't
will
wait for
happily
it.
have South by Southwest be my first festival of the year.
I
can
get
say
it.
that.
Sundance
happily.
is so fun, though.
I believe it is.
So
It just
fun.
ain't my climate, ain't my scene. I'm good.
You have to try it one year, especially for that midnight scene. I love going to a good midnighter at Sundance at the library. It's just good vibes.
Go
in
to
there.
a library and watch movies.
It's
no,
you'll like it.
All right, so we actually
You'll
missed
like
two
it.
super chats. We didn't do this one, did we?
Sam, what's up, Sam?
Got it.
Great to see you guys doing a show in the same room again. Got nothing to contribute this week other than a bit of support. Thank you, Sam. So Sam builds the coolest Legos in the world.
I see his Lego.
He doesn't build like real Lego sets though.
Custom.
He like the other, I forget what they're called, brick something, and they're like beautiful, stunning things. And he shows these pictures of them all the time.
Yeah.
And once we were talking during our Patreon chat, and at the end of the chat, I bought a mosquito in amber, and like I mean it is what it sounds like, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So basically, like the mosquito has to be built in a shell of Lego, and it was one of those things where I got to like the last step of the thing, and you have to put one piece, and the entire thing crumbled in my hand, and I still haven't finished it. But it's such a nice piece, and I need to finish it.
Go back to do it. I
Sam,
know.
Can I send it to you, Sam, and you just build it for me? Just build it for me.
I'll pay for the shipping and the bubble
I
wrap
want him
and
to just
everything.
build it for me. He's way better at that stuff than I am.
I knew a ex-writer that I used to write with who went into like Lego photography afterwards and like just does like he like recreates movie scenes with Legos and he'll do photography.
Some of the stuff Sam builds is like absolutely incredible works of art. Like no traditional Lego set can compare to that kind of thing.
There's the Fox show, isn't it? Like literally Lego Masters.
I've never watched full episodes, but
I put it on like
probably
at night
should.
sometimes
I like
as
it.
like a fall asleep kind of movie. Sorry, like fall asleep show. Like watch the Legos.
Brent is here. Went to my first Regal and saw your
There you
Perri's Pick segment. How long have you been doing those? I think I shot my first thing for Nuvi in the fall of 2018 when I got back from the Toronto International Film Festival, and it was specifically about a game that they were also doing called Fantasy Movie League. I miss Fantasy Movie League so much.
Yeah,
it was
a fun one.
Really like the coolest idea ever. It was basically a mashup of box office predictions and fantasy football where you got $100 to play with, and you had to take those $100 and fill 8 screens. Yeah. And the thing was, a movie like, let's say, Top Gun Maverick would be really expensive, but a movie like Tar would not be as expensive, and you would need to figure out how to spread that money around to make the most. And it was just like such a brilliant game, and they stopped doing it, which kind of breaks my heart. But fortunately, they stuck with me, and they let me talk about movies in their pre-show, and it morphed into Perri's Picks. And now I get to share a couple of movies that I'm really looking forward to all the time. And
do you know,
I love them.
Doing Fantasy Movie League, the only week I ever got the perfect score, like I actually got like a top. You did it. You did like as best as you could do for the week. I think it was Memorial Day weekend, and it was when Super Troopers 2 came out, and it was like no money. It was like one of the cheapest value. So I put Super Troopers 2 in every single slot I could.
I remember this.
Yeah, and literally that was the play because I'm like, don't count out the stoners. This is going to make like 20 million, and I'm going to get 20 million across every single slot. And that was the best you could do that week. And that's my crowning achievement. Don't doubt the stoners who love fucking Super Troopers 2. It's great. It's amazing. Number one for the week. That one time.
I miss doing box office predictions. One day I'll get back.
But now they don't matter anymore because we don't know.
It's not that they don't matter.
No,
it's more that like the we don't know thing. I don't know. I feel like it really is impossible to predict box office unless you actually pay for some of those like tracking services, which I can't do. I can't do that. And also, I feel like cheating.
Parasite Perfect Score Week. Exactly. Yep. It was always finding that really like the one gem that was undervalued is so cheap, but like getting it as many times as you could into your lineup. Yeah.
I feel like I never got the perfect score, but
Just
I was
once. It's just
I was
once.
always like really good, but without being great.
Mm.
So I was always like, kind of at the top,
yeah.
never good enough to actually like be something to celebrate in the game.
Oh yeah, I mean like that perfect score again was once in a million,
Yeah.
and then other weeks I'd be like towards the bottom because I'm like this horror movie's gonna do great, and no
Yeah.
one shows up. I'm like cool, fuck me, I guess that's
Aw.
fine. So we did. Do you want to talk about the James Cameron?
Like some of the other stuff he said.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of articles up on collider.com from my James Cameron interview. That was a pretty good story though. I'm trying to think of I was talking to him about the idea of having written the screenplays. Yeah, written the screenplays before filming because, he wanted to have everything mapped out. And he kind of used the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings model. And then at one point he brought up the word corker, which I don't think very many people use that word anymore. And I had read it in a previous interview that he did, so it really stuck in my mind. So I had asked him well, what makes film for a corker? And he just went on this whole story about how, I think it was that he had a couple of pages notes when he submitted the script for Avatar 2. Then it was down to 1 page of notes when he submitted the script from Avatar 3. And then when he hit Avatar 4, the studio executives that he had to hand a draft of the script to basically just wrote back to him, holy fuck. And, he kept saying it was like, holy fuck, like twist and turn, subverting their expectations in a good way. Yep. But I mean, that's a quote to get you hyped for a film that's years away.
A film that might never come out. I mean, it will get there eventually.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. What's happening?
I'm drying out the Tupperware that I'm taking red so she can bring her fiance a donut.
Okay.
That's very nice.
That's good work that you're doing right now.
I don't know. I feel like it took this, as long as he can power through the next sequels, I feel like they will come out. But it took this long to get to The Way of Water.
I believe he shot all of 3.
So 3 is done.
I think 3 is filmed, and I think there's a small percentage of 4 that's been filmed. If I am remembering all the reports correctly, but I don't know. This franchise is a big deal for Disney, and
that's fair.
I have a really hard. I know it was an expensive movie to make, but I have a really hard time imagining The Way of Water not making enough money at the box office when it has no competition. It'd be one thing if there were other big things coming out between now and mid-January, but this one really has the entire big budget box office zone to itself.
Man, how dare you? Megan comes out January 6th.
Not the same audience. I'll give Megan all the credit in the world.
Violent Night is already out, Perri.
That is not a serious statement. It is not even.
I'm happy.
Violent Night is right there.
But really, Megan could not be coming out at a better time of year for
true.
A movie like that.
You want to try this beer? It's an orange creamsicle cheesecake beer.
That sounds
it's light.
Like a thing that I would not want to try.
I know, but it's fun.
Do you like sour more than you like sweet?
It
depends what I've had for lunch. It's like the butt of the beer.
What
I don't want that.
That's where the flavor is.
This
is good.
A White Claw.
That one's sour.
Are you better than White Claw?
Perri? No, I just don't. I just like what I like, and I don't like anything else.
That one's sour.
That tastes like candy.
This is my favorite line of White Claw.
That's not bad.
Their summer ones, their lemonades are great.
I like that.
So Babylon is not making a dent in anything. No, it's going to bomb. Babylon is not. No.
We all saw Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon
no one liked Babylon.
Nobody liked Babylon.
Okay, nobody liked Babylon.
Tomris and Robert put it in their top 10 of the year. People.
What is Andrew referring to? What butts? What butts are we talking about?
Butts are good though.
I don't know.
I mean,
which specific butts?
It's a common statement. I don't know. Butts are good.
All right, butts are. Butts. I mean, butts could be good.
Valentin keeps putting this in, so
oh God, I have no idea.
I thought Snake Eyes was trying to set up for.
I think it ended in a place. Because isn't that why Samara Weaving had an itty bitty role, like they were teeing her up for more?
Yes. She was Scarlet or whatever. So there were gonna be offshoots and stuff like that, but Snake Eyes sucked.
Snake Eyes didn't totally suck.
Snake Eyes sucked.
There were parts of Snake Eyes that was cool.
They got the right actors in a movie that was so inept for the action.
Yeah,
get
the
the butt of
the butt of the beer is
Right,
like
that's-
the ass
There's
bottom
this
of a
much
beer
left.
that like no matter
there is like this much.
that
beer
is
left.
not no
Absolutely not much beer left.
that this beer is like barely filled. I'm literally holding it in my hand. You're lying.
You can't tell weights by your hand.
It does not matter how good a beer is. Once you get to the butt of the beer, the bare ass bottom of the beer, it
Butt.
does not taste good anymore.
It's fine to me.
No. That's like if you're at a
Tastes
reception.
like butt.
If
in a good
you're
way.
at like a limitless bar at a reception where you can get a refresher, you get down to like the baby bottom right there, and then you put it down and you
That's
get a fresh one. Because you
That's
don't
fair.
have to. You don't have to drink that bad part.
This is not the bad part, though. I don't.
You're,
not bad.
you're
There's
just
nothing
like,
wrong with this.
you're bullshitting right now.
I'm not bullshitting. This is like the flavors down here. It settles. The flavor settles
when
here.
maybe when you drink like creamsicle beers.
Creamsicle cheesecake beer. Excuse me.
I can't handle it.
From the Weldworks. Why is it's not doing the focus anymore? Do I have to go over? Oh, there we go.
You're not hitting the sweet
Wait,
spot.
what if I put it in front of your face and cover
It's
you?
my face.
It's your face. Yeah, it's
it
good.
literally just wants to focus on
Orange
me.
creamsicle cheesecake sour ale. Thank you, Weldworks.
Have you watched?
Delicious.
You've watched Pinocchio, right?
Oh yeah, Pinocchio rules.
Isn't
Pinocchio's
Pinocchio
fun.
incredible?
So like that was a hard animated recommended like doing the Critics' Choice nomination and like nominating animated for me was there's a lot of good animation and I forgot about that. So I'm just sitting there going like there was a lot.
Have you seen Puss in Boots?
No, I haven't
You
even seen Puss
need
in
to
Boots
see-
yet. I know.
I feel
I will,
like-
I will.
Our screening is Tuesday.
I can't. I don't have like a good
We have digital.
reason.
Oh, we'll be screening Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you'll really like Puss in Boots. I can't explain why very well, but I feel like you're really gonna be into.
I
that
like animals
movie.
doing people things. That's always been a running joke with my friends. Like no joke. Like it
I get
literally
it.
in like middle school, my friends were
I
like,
like-
oh, you just like animals
I
doing
like
people things. I'm like, yeah.
animals and inanimate objects doing people
Exactly.
things.
There's not people doing people things is great because
I never got
people suck and I
I
just
never
want.
got the A24 Marcel box.
That was the A24 holiday box. Did
That
you get
makes me
that?
sad. I never got that.
I'm sure you'll get it. But yes, Pinocchio was great. The only thing for me was the songs were a little out of place, and not in a bad way. But I know I'm wrong and I should feel bad. But like I don't. It just they distracted a teeny bit. Except for the one where Pinocchio is like discovering things in Geppetto's house.
I like that song
That was
a
the one
lot.
song that worked for me, but the other ones for some reason just felt a little like we're gonna do a song real quick, and it just felt like a sidestep versus a like continuation.
Okay.
But that was literally the only thing. Like that movie was.
I can't wait to watch that
phenomenal.
movie again.
It looks beautiful, and like that's the thing too. Like Wendell and Wild like looks beautiful. Like there was a lot of really good animation, just technical wise, and like
Mhm.
honestly for me, like Bob's Burgers was still in there
Yeah.
for me. Like I love Bob's Burgers, so like that is a personal choice. But like my top 3 animations so far were like Pinocchio turning red and Bob's Burgers.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Right there, literally right there. It's right 4.
Oh God.
That's 4 for me.
No, that's my number 2. It's my
Marcel
number
is
2 in
adorable.
animation.
Marcel is adorable. I get it.
All right. A beignet beer? Do you want?
I would absolutely have a beignet beer. I have the weirdest beer sitting there. I literally like. Don't worry.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise anybody watching the show right now.
Of course they are.
Oh,
Pinocchio. Are they like actual props or are they like recreations?
I didn't even know Netflix had a shop like that.
Are they taking the A24 business model because they're like, holy shit, people will
Well,
pay $500 for a
they've
stupid
got-
basketball? Like, yeah,
They've
cool.
got a great shop though.
They have a great,
Netflix
but like, I'm not paying
store.
$80 for an X shirt.
$80?
The X line of shirts and clothing was all like $80, $70. It's
Netflix
insane.
merch shop.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, I know.
For what?
You gotta go.
Oh my God, I didn't realize there was like a hard time limit.
Well, we're almost getting there.
That's just bad at communicating.
None of this was communicated to me.
It's working all day.
What else? I thought you were taking him out or something. Do we have anything else we need to hit? We could just like use our 2 minutes to promote shit we've been working on.
Oh, I don't care.
Promote something.
I don't know what I do.
You're the worst at this. I have a lot of things I want to promote.
Go ahead.
Like my Avatar interviews that I work really hard on. The James Cameron one is up. The Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington one is up with the word that I fucked up. And then tomorrow, the Kate Winslet one goes up. And my Haley Lou Richardson Ladies Night is up, which you should watch leading up to the season 2 finale of The White Lotus. That's my
I
plug.
reviewed the mean one.
I saw your tweet, but didn't have a chance to read
Oh,
the
it's
full
so
article.
bad. It is,
Never
like,
mind. I
come
don't want
on.
to know
It's-
about
I-
it.
we all know what happens when a no-budget indie horror movie gets popular for a title or a trailer that looks funny, but then tries to be a real movie after that. Like I love my Midnighters. I love all of that stuff, but like you have to have the right approach and you have to have like the right. I don't want to say like you have to have the right amount of money to pull it off, but you do. Like I'm sorry, when you're using nothing but fake blood, I don't want to see your horror movie.
It's more expensive.
Yeah,
They
and
made a choice that made their movie more expensive. It's cheaper to make.
It's all fake blood.
It's so easy.
It's like in like CG bad fake blood. So like every kill in the mean one is basically. The Grinch looks great. Don't get me wrong. For what it is,
the mean one is the Grinch.
The mean one, for those who don't know, is a parody.
It's a Grinch horror movie.
It's a parody film where the Grinch becomes a slasher, and it turns the story from he is stealing the Christmas spirit away by killing anyone who plays with Christmas ornaments. So like the town of Newville cannot have Christmas, and Cindy You Know Who comes back to Newville. And her dad puts out Christmas decorations and dies, and then immediately she has to kill him.
A lot of this laughing isn't coming from me thinking this idea is super clever. It's just hearing you put it into words.
It's so fucking stupid. I also don't know how they haven't got sued yet. It is if the People's Joker is getting caught in red tape, like this is blatantly using Universal's representation of the Grinch. Like they are mimicking Jim Carrey. Like everything has basically been done before, but now just in this parody. So I don't know. It's in theaters right now. They're trying a small run. And like, I think if this is any bit successful in the theater, that's when it's going to get the attention from Universal. And they're going to say, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to sue your ass now for all your fucking profits.
Based on the way you're talking about it, it doesn't sound like it's going to be very successful.
No, but like, I don't know. In a weird way, did we think Terrifier 2 would be? And that made 10 million. But that had a built-in fan base and that had other things. Like, I understand that, but.
We're getting glared at. I think we need to leave.
I'm not glaring.
Right?
But he did go overtime.
Okay.
It's 7:31.
Which is overtime, correct?
That is fair. By a minute.
How do you feel about ending this stream? That is literally just one button, and then you could let it do its thing.
Oh, I can just
but like, we need to say goodbye. We need to say goodbye to any Patreon people out there. I am finally back from London. I will message everybody on the Slack tier and higher. We're going to schedule all of your chats and videos and everything because this is like my favorite time of year, Matt. Every single person on the request of video tier gets like an end of the year like theme to pick from, and it's like those are some of my favorite videos to make. So you will all be messaged very soon.
Nice.
I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Would you like to do the honors?
I will also say actual plug at Donato Bomb. If you really want to follow me, do the things. I write for IGN, I write for other places. So follow me on the Twitter, little letterbox, on the Instagram at Donato Bomb. Also follow my podcast, Certified Forgotten, because we have a fun little podcast that we do about horror movies with that no one fucking knows about. So great SEO practices, but you know.
That was a much better plug.
I could do plugs sometimes.
Okay.
Anyway, goodbye. I'm going to hit the button. We're going to stay here awkwardly for like